Broderick Wallace here, and that noise in the background is stew. I'm boiling a stew, making a stew, and I have been stewing the last few days. How long has it been? It feels like, what, about a week, or what's the date today? The 21st of May 2026. So yeah, it's been about a week or so since the news of the passing of Gordon White, and I have to say, I think it's so upsetting. I've been listening to lots of his, not only the interviews that he, or rather to say, not only the times that he interviewed people, but lots of the times that people have interviewed him. There's so much stuff out there, even a few I didn't even know existed. So I've been working away, listening to Gordon's voice, and you don't realise, it's a cliche, but it's true, you don't realise how important someone is until they're gone, and how special as well. Egypt and the stars, because this is the point that I want to make. This is just awful. I mean, when you think, I'll talk about Starships in a minute. I want to say that there was a vibe, there was something in the air, and a few of us were beginning to realise this, and it took a combination, actually. That was the combination of everything Robert Bovell, Graham Hancock, John Anthony West, Robert Schoch, that whole 90s Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse type situation with the Orion correlation theory and the Atlantis question, all that. It took a knowledge of that, which definitely requires a lot of reading, with, I mean, a deep knowledge anyway, with being magically experienced and operative, having experienced contact, basically. What was brewing was, what was stewing, the notion that which Gordon White was the first to put this out there that I'm aware of, and so eloquently. His way with words is I mean, it's such an eloquent guy. Just why bother raising the notion of ancient aliens as anything more than just a passing possibility, when so much of the data can be answered by that which we are culturally inexperienced of, which is the notion of contact with, you might say, stellar contact and star beings, and how this relates to, you know, the ancient, you know, paganism, you might say. When I saw Starships advertised, I was like, oh, someone's going to talk about this. Yes, this is obviously the way. And of course, I wasn't prepared for the amount of research into, you know, mapping mythology and all kinds of stuff. I forget some of the details now. It was quite a few years ago I read Starships, but it's more about the impression that it leaves. I will say that combination of archaeoastronomy, stellar magic, but also the Lord of the Rings. I mean, these are my favourite things, you know. So I always felt represented by Gordon in those ways when I would tune into his interviews and hang on his every word. And of course, you know, it's like with everyone, it's less about disagreeing at times. It's more about, like, this guy's so clever, I'm going to ponder the things that I don't necessarily agree with immediately. I'm going to ponder them because, you know, I respect this person. And there is a strange parallel with Terence McKenna. Terence McKenna is also was also very articulate. He had one of those voices where you'd kind of be glued to it, and you'd be enjoying the journey, the intellectual journey that he would take you upon. But there was also a love of the weird and the wonderful. Obviously, Gordon talked about UFOs as well, and it was important for someone to stress the consciousness-based, you know, Jacques Vallée kind of viewpoint from a magical perspective as well. Basically, it was just important that someone who practices magic look at ancient history and ufology, like, you know, to a serious degree, in terms of more modern material, or, you know, modern theories, discoveries, etc. Anyway, getting back to Terence, I think it's very strange that they were both so linguistically gifted, and they were both taken, you know, too early, and they both made predictions about the future. Obviously, Gordon was he was constructing a kind of timeline in terms of where he thought the world was going. And just like Terence McKenna, he passed away before he could, you know, at least in a bodily sense, witness the events or the time period, you know, of his prediction. So I find that a very strange synchronicity, but what I find hopeful about that is I'm sure that in the same way that people share and preserve Terence McKenna's talks and lectures, the same thing is going to happen with Gordon, and he will have people thinking and pondering and taking those, you know, those ideas, you know, further. He was in many ways the man of the moment, and I just find it really sad that I'm not gonna, you know, finish a day's work and go onto YouTube. Oh, there's a new interview with Gordon. You know, what's he up to? What's he thinking about? And, you know, discuss that with my friends. And the irony that his last video was talking, you know, honouring Pete Carroll as well. It's the old expression of the flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. How prolific. I mean, just skip through Rune Soup. The guy knew what he was doing. He went out, interviewed everyone, and you know, one thing led to another, and there, you know, there's the books and his website and you know, etc. Networking, and with the situation right now that we don't know how Gordon passed away, but of course a lot of us think it's very likely that it might have been related to his some kind of heart condition or trouble, and yeah, so just to say, very sad, what a great loss, but let's appreciate what Gordon White did for the occult consciousness. That vehement confidence when it comes to the takedown, the witty, quick distillation of something that, you know, mere mortals might have been thinking about for, you know, days, weeks, months, even years, and just distill it down to a single paragraph. Yeah, bullshit, you know, the I love science, atheistic, mechanistic, materialistic paradigm that says that we're all biological robots, you know, a collection of cells and various, you know, ingredients, and that which we think and feel inside is an illusion. That whole game, in a way, it's like you know, calling out, it's like the emperor had no clothes type situation. Like, he called that out so well. So you go away from, you know, reading one of his books or listening to him online with that sense of confidence, like, yes, come on, we all know this. We don't need to necessarily defend it. Let's just live it. One of my favorite of his little ditties, if you like, was his idea that one should either naturally, of course, or chased after, forced, should achieve a kind of crossing the Rubicon moment, whereby subjectively, demonstrably, one perceives the reality of the spirit world. And I guess that ties in with the whole, you know, find the others type expression, whereby you can recognize that resonance within others. But anyway, yeah, I won't waffle on. Yeah, I just wanted to say, just wanted to say a few words. Travel well, Mr. Gordon White.